Welcome to INCRadio, Virginia's satellite studio. Good afternoon, good evening, magandang umaga po, good morning. Thank you for joining us today. I am Brother Andrew Wynn from High Point in the beautiful state of North Carolina. In our broadcast today, our topic will be the tour of High Point. We will discuss the following: attractions in or around High Point, Greensboro, Winston-Salem, Jamestown, and Asheboro. One-way travel times to some beaches and some beautiful mountains, community colleges and universities in the area. But I'm not alone. With me, our Sister Lorraine from Fayetteville. Hello, Sister Lorraine.
Hello, Brother Andrew, to our dear guests that we have right now for today's episode. And Sister Dane will help us later. She will say hello later on. But let me greet first our viewers and listeners. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all our viewers and listeners all over the world. Please do not forget to comment and put your hashtag or where you are, and we will read that later on. And we are so excited for today's episode because we are going to travel on different places along the High Point. Sister Dane, how are you?
Hello, Sister Lorraine. I'm happy to be here today.
Sister Dane, who has jumped into our live chat and what do they have to share with us today?
Our sister Lainey Magnol has already typed in the chat. Wow. Exciting to see the best tourist attraction places in High Point, North Carolina, or should we say the entire North Carolina state. Hashtag High Point.
Excellent. And we'd like to introduce our guest, Brother AJ Apalacio, who is a student, a junior at T. Andrews Wingate High School, and Sister Lorraine Hagan, who teaches English online. Would you like to say hello, Brother AJ?
Hello po. Happy viewing to everyone po.
And Sister Lauren, would you like to say hello?
Hello po, everyone.
Now, we'd like to ask those who are on the internet, on our YouTube chat, what places do you like to visit around High Point, Greensboro, Winston-Salem, Jamestown, and Asheboro? But let us get to our tour. So I'd like to ask Brother AJ if you could list some High Point attractions.
Yes, brother. In High Point, we have the High Point City Lake Park, the High Point Museum, the world's largest chest of drawers, the All-A Flutter Butterfly Farm, the Nito and Mariana Cubain Children's Museum, the Twin Deer Community Theater, and the Ingram Farm.
Now, High Point, I understand, is the furniture capital of the world, and that's why we have that beautiful and very tall chest of drawers, one of the iconic landmarks of High Point, North Carolina. Now, Sister Lauren, could you detail some of the Greensboro attractions?
Yes po, in Greensboro, there's the International Civil Rights Center and Museum, the Greensboro Science Center, the Bog Garden and Benjamin Park, the Tanger Family Bicentennial Garden, and also Greensboro History Museum. Also, there is the Guilford Courthouse National Park, Military Park, and Ambleside Gallery, and Greensboro Arboretum. Oh, and of course, Carolina Theater.
Now, Greensboro is just to the north of High Point, and it does have an airport, which makes it very convenient. If you want to fly and land close to High Point, you can land in Greensboro. And to the east of us is a city called Winston-Salem. Brother AJ, could you touch on some of the Winston-Salem attractions?
Yes, brother. In Winston-Salem, we have the Renolda House Museum of American Art, the North Carolina Museum of Art, the Bauman Gray Stadium, the Old Salem's Museum of Early Southern Decorative Arts, the Camel City Jazz Orchestra, the Creative Drama Children's Theater, the Little Theater of Winston-Salem, and as well as the Piedmont Opera.
And right next to High Point is a beautiful, charming town called Jamestown. Sister Lauren, could you mention some of the attractions in Jamestown?
Yes po, for Jamestown, there's the Jamestown Historical Museum, the Jamestown Greenway, which features hiking, biking, fishing, and picnic areas, and as well as the Jamestown Park.
Now, just to the south of us is a beautiful city called Asheboro. And Brother AJ, could you give us some of the Asheboro attractions?
Yes, my brother. In the city of Asheboro, there is the North Carolina Zoo, the American Classic Motorcycle Museum, and as well as the North Carolina Aviation Museum.
Sister Dane, so has anybody chimed in on our chat in addition to Sister Lonnie? And what are they saying about some of the places they like to visit, or how are they greeting us?
Our sister Hazel Margie says, hashtag Jacksonville. Wow, there is so much to see in the surrounding areas of High
Right now,
Point.
Sister Dane is checking to see what's on the chat and hearing. Excellent. Well, I'm glad there's a lot to see around High Point. I'm very glad that people are contributing to our chat. Now, I'd like to ask first Sister Lauren and second of all, Brother AJ, have you visited any of the places in and around High Point, Greensboro, Winston-Salem, Jamestown, or Asheboro? And which of these were your favorites and what did you do there? We'll start out with you, Brother AJ.
For me, I've been to the High Point City Lake Park, which is it's a really nice lake park, very very beautiful scenery and very big, and it's overall really really nice.
Excellent. Sister Lauren, what have you visited right around High Point or Winston-Salem or any of the cities we've mentioned, and what did you enjoy about it?
I've been to High Point City Lake Park po as well, and just walking and sightseeing po with my husband because that's what we like to do. Thank you
Excellent.
po.
Now, I'd like to find out from you, Sister Lauren, how far is it to drive one way to some of our beautiful beaches in the Atlantic Ocean area?
Going to Wrightsville Beach po, it takes about 3.25 hours. And if you go to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, it takes 3.5 hours. And if you'll go to Topsail Beach, North Carolina, it'll take you 3.75 of an hour.
Okay, so those are drivable distances. Now, Brother AJ, how far is the drive to some of the beautiful scenic mountains in North Carolina?
For some of the mountains here, we have the Grandfather Mountain, which is around 2.5 hours, the Table Rock Mountain, which is 2.75 of an hour, and finally we have the Water Rock Knob Mountain, which is 3.5 hours.
Now, Sister Lauren, beaches or mountains or both, which one is your favorite? Which one have you visited in or around North Carolina? And tell us about your experience.
I would say my favorite is the Grandfather Mountain. It takes about 2.5 hours, but yeah, it's like we like to visit there in the fall season because we like to watch the fall foliage because of the beautiful colors, and it's really beautiful there in the mountains.
Now, I had a question, Sister Lauren. I believe Grandfather Mountain's a little bit the top of it is more than a mile above sea level. So when you're there, how was your breathing? How did it feel?
Yes, but it's okay, but if you're having a problem hiking, you can still see some other places down there, and you can still see the beautiful colors po. And there are also picnic tables. Which you can do your picnic with your family.
It sounds like a lot of fun. Now, Brother AJ, I'd like to ask you the same thing, whether it be beaches or mountains, which one have you visited? What did you like? What was your experience?
For me, brother, I would say I would prefer more of the mountain regions because they're really very scenic, like I said earlier. Really big, very nice to see and sightseeing, as well as going with families and friends.
Well, it sounds like a lot of fun to me. And there's various reasons to visit mountains. One is in July and August when it gets hot down here, you may want to go to the mountain to experience the cool air. Now, as Sister Lauren mentioned, you might want to go there in October or November for the beautiful fall foliage. Or maybe some who are more adventurous may want to slide down some of the hills in certain areas on a toboggan. But before you do such, please research where you're going and make sure it's safe, because we want everybody to be safe. But mountains are beautiful, and we're glad we in one day, if you're willing to drive, spend several hours there and drive back, It's a long day, but it'd be a fun-filled day where you could either go to the mountains or the oceans when you're in North Carolina. Now, I was curious about education and what kind of post-high school opportunities there were and how you might be able to do it, not spending as much money as some people want you to spend. So, Sister Lauren, could you list some economical nearby community colleges?
There is the Guilford Technical Community College in High Point. There's also the Randolph Community College in Arcdale, and Forsyth Technical Community College, which is in Kernersville.
Very good. So we could go to a 2-year community college, get ourselves an associate's degree, ensuring that those courses would be transferable to a 4-year university where we could work on our bachelor's. Brother AJ, what are some 2 nearby public universities?
We have the University of North Carolina in Greensboro, and as well as the Winston-Salem State University.
So, Brother AJ, if one in this area were to get an associate's degree first at a community college, having made sure that the courses are transferable to a 4-year public university and using in-state fees, would this be a somewhat economical way to acquire a 4-year degree?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, so these are great things to keep in mind. Now, Sister Dane, I was wondering what some of our chatters have chimed in about what we're discussing today, about High Point and all these other cities, about mountains and oceans, and about the community colleges and university opportunities.
Brother Johnny F says Sugar Mountain, Beach Mountain, etc. Hashtag Fayetteville. Our sister Hazel and Margie's says hashtag Jacksonville. The park near High Point Chapel is a great place to take scenic pictures.
Excellent. Well, I'm glad some of our listeners have found some great places to go and great things to do. Sister Lauren, do you have any other experiences about visiting any other places in North Carolina that you'd like to share with us?
Yes, po. Also, there's a lot of beautiful beaches around North Carolina. Of course, there's Wilmington and Topsail Beach, but also the Outer Banks, po. It's really good if you like going to the beach in the summer. I really recommend going there, po, too.
Now, I understand
All right. I think Brother
further
Andrew
to
is
travel
having.
if you're driving to the Outer Banks. Is that correct? I was asking Sister Lauren if going to the Outer Banks took a little bit further to drive than in comparison to the other beaches. And I wanted to know from her what is special or what is different about the Outer Banks. Why is it so famous?
Yes, po. Yes, po. The Outer Banks, po, is there's a lot of other beaches line up there, and it's kind of a little farther, po, but because it's gonna take you around 4 hours, but it's really beautiful there, po. And there you can do fishing, of course, swimming if you're up to it, and walking on the sand on the beach, and then there's a lot of things to do, po.
It sounds great. Now, Brother AJ, are there any other places you visited in North Carolina, and what did you enjoy about them, and what makes them different?
Well, what Sister Lauren mentioned earlier about the beaches. I've been to Myrtle Beach a few times before, and it's really nice. Very hot on some days, but yeah, it is really fun beach to go to, and I recommend it a lot.
Excellent. Now, we'd like to give some shout outs or greetings. Sister Dane, who would you like to give a shout out to? And go ahead, and then we'll call on you later for what's on the chat. But who would you like to give a shout out to, Sister Dane?
To the locale of Norfolk, hello, brother, and I hope you're watching today, even though we're having a lot of activities today. Hello, po.
Norfolk
And
is
Brother Andrew, if we could read some of the comments right now in our live chat. We have I think this is Sister Venus. um, Hashtag Jacksonville. I like the architectural design of the house of worship in High Point, North Carolina. And if you're going to visit some of the beautiful places, of course, the beautiful chapel of High Point, the local congregation of High Point is really beautiful too. And just a trivia, did you know that the first chapel I've been to is the local congregation of High Point? And I would like to say thank you uh dad of AJ, brother Alvin, and his mom, sister Sheila, who really picked me up to uh go around the place there and have the worship service. And also I would like to shout out Sister Flora, brother Melsar, Sister Melba, who introduced us the High Point. And I wonder how big are the clothes will fit in that cabinet, Sister Dane and Brother Andrew, because when we saw that, we were just really amazed of High Point, North Carolina.
Well, that's so large because High Point is the furniture capital of the world. But just note it down, 1934 East Chester Drive in High Point is the address of the beautiful chapel in High Point in case you want to visit there. And yes, it is beautiful, majestic, and we're very blessed to have this beautiful chapel in High Point. Now, I'd like to ask Sister Lauren, would you like to give some shout outs?
Yes, Paul. I wanna give a big shout out to my husband, Michael, who's in the other room, and of course, Paul, to all the brethren in local of High Point. Hello, Paul.
And Brother AJ, would you like to give some shout outs?
Yes, but big shout out Paul to my family who is also with me, and as well as everyone else in the locale of High Point. Hello, Paul. I'd also like to give a shout out to my sisters who could possibly be watching as well. Hello out there.
I'd like to give a shout out to my beautiful wife, Sister Minda. I'd like to give a shout out to all the officers in High Point, but let's give a special shout out to Sister Lonnie, a very dedicated deaconess who's very kind and a great resource. She has a lot of wisdom and a lot of great ideas. And we'd like to give a shout out to Brother Alvin Apalacio, our resident minister and his family, and all the High Point officers and brethren, and to Brother Steve Inocencio, our district minister. We thank you for all the hard work and support of the District of Virginia. We're very, very thankful for this. Now, we're about to go into the CFO in action. So I'm waiting to hear the bumper before I announce all our exciting events.
CFO in action.
Tonight, we have a CFO combined meeting at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 o'clock Central. Monday, January 20th, at the Benton Convention Center in Winston-Salem, we have a book club night. And this is going to feature some great food. And it should be very, very enjoyable. See you all there. And we have a worldwide evangelical mission this Friday, January 24th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central. They are evangelical. We have a CWS poetry workshop this Sunday, January 26th at High Point, and many, many more CFO events, which we will share with you in the future. So now I would like to give it over to Sister Lorraine. Sister Lorraine, you have any other experiences you would like to share?
Of course, Brother Andrew. But before we go on with our experiences on how we are so excited to always visit High Point, and I will definitely come back, we would just like to read some of the comments and shout outs from our team live chat who are really excited, sharing their experiences. Brother James Langit said, hashtag Charleston, let's tour all the locals in our district. And we are so excited that High Point is the first one to tour, and next episode we are going to see more places here in the District of Virginia. And also I have read a while ago, Brother Mike Flash, hashtag Charlotte, we are ready for High Point. We also have Sister Hazel said they got married there in the local congregation, the chapel of High Point. We also have Sister Teresa. Sister Dane, do we have more shout outs and comments there before we read our hashtag challenge winners?
Yes, sister. We have Brother Jeremy Pease, hashtag rally worldwide evangelical mission. Brother Jeffrey Mulatto, see you tonight, brethren. Hashtag North Atlanta. Hashtag Marietta. Brother Johnny F. I still need to see the big Jesse Joy landmark in High Point. Hashtag Fayetteville.
And also we have Brother Rizal Tinaza. He said, I went to Sugar Mountain last December. Strikingly beautiful and peaceful retreat. Hashtag rally. And Sister Diana Sanako, I love the Dillards in HP. Hashtag rally. And there's also one, I think it's a famous restaurant where Sister Genesis and Sister Micah Cruz introduced us, where I ate some of the Asian food, where this is my first time to have that, the fried noodles. And it's because it's I don't have much time to go to High Point. I tried it. I tried to cook that, and you know, when you remember those memories when you were there in that place and you're eating that dish, you remember the bondings that you have shared. And also I would just like to shout out all the Kapampangans in High Point. Kumusta kayo po, Ken? Ang dami marakaltamong Kapampangan dyan in High Point. So it was really a home for me, Brother Andrew. So you know, when I first got here, you know, Sister Lauren as an international teacher, I don't know anyone po. And when Brother Alvin, Sister Sheila introduced me in the High Point, I felt really home when I saw every one of them. So shout out to all our dear brethren there in High Point. Thank you so much. And I think we are so ready to congratulate our hashtag winners last week. So Kuya Tech, take it away. Our hashtag winners last week: fifth place, Macon, Georgia; fourth place, Jacksonville, North Carolina; third place, High Point, North Carolina; second place, Charlotte, North Carolina; and on the first place, hashtag Raleigh, North Carolina. I almost say hashtag Brother Jeremy Peace and all the brethren there in Raleigh. Thank you so much. And I think our brethren there in Raleigh are so excited also to feature their place there in Raleigh. Brother Andrew, do you have some shout outs?
Again, I would like to shout out to our Kuya Techs. They give us so much behind the scenes supports. I'd like to shout out to Sister Lucy Anchetta, our producer here for the Virginia Satellite Studio, for all she does. I really appreciate all her efforts. I'd like to shout out to Brother Wally Tarai, who's our station manager, Brother Manley Andaya, who's our executive producer. We get such great support here in our Virginia Satellite Studio. We'd like to shout out to our district staff for all they do for us, for how they help proofread everything we do, and how they help guide us. And I'm going to shout out some shows in advance. I'm going to shout out next week what's going to happen. Charlotte's going to be featured. And the week after that, Fayetteville. And I'm looking forward to both of these INCRadio episodes. So there's a lot to shout out and a lot to be thankful for. What do you think, Sister Lorraine?
Yes, and we are so excited to also mention this Sister Anna Blash, hi Sister Magno family, Cese family, Herman family, and Sister Amy Idha. We also have some viewers coming from the Philippines there in Bulacan. Thank you so much, Sister Josie. Hello po, High Point. Again, Sister Hazel, thank you so much for joining us. We still have few more minutes. We would like to also greet our resident minister, resident evangelical worker, Brother Christopher Samugat. We are so excited also to feature Fayetteville. Kaya abangan niyo po yan, the Fayetteville. And also Sister Dane, of course, Norfolk, Virginia. Again, thank you so much for all our viewers who type in their comments, greeted and shout out, and also our dear guests for today's episode, Sister Lauren, Brother AJ. I hope we visit High Point and see you all guys there. And also po, our INCRadio will not be possible without thanking our Executive Minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, our SEBSI CEO and President, Brother Angelo Eranio Manalo. Thank you so much to all the district staff of District of Virginia, our District Supervising Minister, Brother Esteban P. Inocencio Jr., and all the district staff right now there. Thank you so much po for tuning in and listening here in INC Radio, Virginia Satellite Studio. We will see you again next week here in INC Radio DZM 954. Thank you so much. Bye. High Point, thank you so much. Bye.
We are presenting the Iglesianicristo Sign Language Guide, Android and iOS version. We gladly introduce the new interface of our INC Sign Language Guide, Android, and the much-awaited iOS version.